Forest mensuration, lecture number 18. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the tree stem form. Tree stem form is very important because it will let us to calculate the volume. So volume is very important part. So tree form factor, we can also say tree stem form. What is a form? It is a stem profile. Tree stem form is defined as the rate of taper of a log or a stem. So we see here different type of forms are here. Here a bit cylindrical. Here you can see it is a paraboloid. Here it is like a cone. So it is here irregular, you can see. There are different forms of a tree, different shapes of a tree. So here we'll learn about the tree stem form because this will help us to calculate the volume. So it is defined as the rate of taperness of a log. Rate of taperness, as we go from base to the top, how the tree tapers. At the base it is wide, slowly as we go along the height, the rate stem tapers down. So we'll study about the tree stem form. So taper is the decrease. You can see it is a decrease in diameter. Here diameter is good enough. As we go in the top, the diameter slowly decreases. So taper is the decrease of diameter of a stem as the tree from the base to upward. Before we study about the form, we will have some concept about the moment of inertia. What is moment of inertia? So moment of inertia is very important because this will let us to know about the shapes of our tree stem, how it changes. So we can say it is also a measure of resistance against the force. So it is the measure of the resistance against the force. What is the force? Force may be wind, force may be the weight of a stem or a crown in the tree. So we'll come and learn about this one. What is moment of inertia? There are two types. One we call polar moment of inertia and other we call moment of inertia. In polar we consider the z-axis. In moment of inertia we will take two axes, y-axis and x-axis. Change in its rotation, we can say it is in the rotation like this, torsional, or capacity of a resistance to the bending like this. So there are moment of inertia. First we'll discuss about the polar moment of inertia. Polar moment of inertia is the measure of resistance against the force applied to the changes in z-axis. So this is a z-axis. If this is a log, this is the z-axis coming from the center. So the changes in this z-axis. So in many books it is this calculation has been given of a moment of inertia, how has been calculated. Ultimate we get the diagram IZZ. This IZZ is pi d to the power 4 divided by 32. We also call it torsional constant. So this is polar moment of inertia. Now next is this polar, and this is moment of inertia. What is moment of inertia? This we'll take it from here. This moment of inertia, this circle. This is the moment of inertia of a plane area is normal axis to the plane is equal. This is equal to the sum of two mutually perpendicular axes lying in the plane. That is, you can see this is x-axis, x one axis, this is y. So they are passing what? Mutually two perpendicular axes. So this is sum of two. This is sum of two. What? The moment of inertia of a plane area is normal axis to the plane area is equal to the sum of two mutually perpendicular axes. You can see this IZZ, this is sum of two mutually perpendicular axes, this one. So if this is 32, this will become here 64. So polar moment of inertia and moment of inertia just is we should understand about what does the moment of inertia means. What does the moment of inertia means? Again, I'll repeat that polar moment of inertia is the measure of resistance against the force applied for the changes in this z-axis. So this is the measure of the resistance against the force applied on the changes in, suppose this is on the z-axis, whatever the changes comes here. And this resistance, this moment of inertia is resistance against the force applied to the changes in x and y axis. We'll take x and we'll take y axis, these two. Okay, this x and y axis. What is the changes in x? Like we are having a torsional changes. We'll also understand about what do you mean by pi. So pi is very simple. It is the ratio of a circle circumference to the diameter. So this is a, we say this is a circle. So what is the ratio of this circle, this entire circle to its diameter? Okay, this is the diameter. So it is the ratio of a circle circumference to the diameter. So it is called pi. Pi is 22 divided by 7. So we get the value 3.14, okay, 28. Now we'll come to the cross section of a tree. So what is cross section of a tree? So if you get the dia, we can calculate the cross section of a tree or area of a tree. So cross section of the tree or cross section of a circle, let's take first the circle. Circle is pi d square of 4. What is d? D is the diameter, 2 times the diameter we take, or area of a circle we can take as a pi r square. So generally we take this pi d square over 4, but when we feel it is a true circle, it is a true circle, 1d is here, okay, this d we take it, so we square it. But in case of trees, it is not every time circular. So we calculate by two formulas. One is called ellipse, okay, ellipse is pi a plus b divided by 2 whole square. We'll take it, and or we can take pi, we do it separately, a square plus b square then divided by 2. There are two formulas calculating ellipse. What is girth? Girth is, we calculate by g is girth. So we take it, the girth is entire from entire circumference from here, we'll take it, and then we'll go around the whole circumference, and then we'll take what is the measurement at this entire circle of this one is called girth, divided by 4 pi. So this is simple cross section of a tree. How to know about the cross sectional area of a tree. This is very important. We also call it as a basal area. We should know about the relationship of diameter and girth. So if we have girth, how much time it is the dia? Okay. For example, diameter is girth divided by pi, or we can say girth is equal to pi into d. Girth is equal to pi into d. If we get the value of a girth, okay, how we will know what is the diameter? So this is pi is what? 22 divided by 7, 3.1428. So girth is approximately 3 times. So you can see it is approximately 3 times. So girth is approximately 3 times the diameter. This is the relationship of diameter and circumference of girth. So tree stems are not truly cylindrical. They are not truly cylindrical like this. If you see, tree stems are not truly cylindrical like this because taperness occurs at different rate. You can see how the taperness is occurring at different rate from base to the top, and it differs from species to species and different situations and locations. If tree is a complete cylindrical, it would be very easy for us to measure the volume of a tree, but it is not like that, because here we will be considering d cube, a cubic diameter, by tapering from base to the top. This is a tree, and tree is never a cylindrical like this. It is never a cylindrical, but the calculation when we do, we have very less option to climb the tree and get the exact figure at different diameter. So let's understand first about the volume, how the volume is being calculated. There is a very simple formula for volume. Volume is equal to S into L. L is the length and S is the cross sectional area or sectional area. This sectional area, this entire section is called S. So to calculate the volume of a cylinder, because it is very fixed, so it is very simple, we can get the accurate result. Okay. So sectional area, already I have explained how to calculate the sectional area. We also say pi r square, or we can say pi d square of 4. So this is the diameter here. We can see this is the d. Okay. So we can calculate it this directly. This sectional area will calculate it. So here we get in 2 dimensional. This square means it is centimeter square or meter square, we can get it. But when we take this length, we have 3 dimensional. We have 3 dimensional. So whatever result we'll get in or cubic meter or centimeter, like this we'll get it. So we can calculate very simple. But when we take it for tree, the tree is slowly tapers down. So when it tapers down like this, so it is very difficult for us to calculate, because we have to assume this is the extra volume. If we take this sectional area here and we take this length, so we will consider this as a full volume. So this is the overestimate we are getting. This is the diameter approaching to the circle. It is approaching to the circle, but not a circle. It may be ellipse and it may be irregular shape also. So the tree stem involve complexities. Lot of complexities are there in a tree stem. If you see in a stem form, irregular trees in the cross section, here you can see this is irregular. How irregular it is? Irregular in the cross sections. And if it is ellipse also, one will have a major axis and one will have minor axis. So mathematical equations is an impossible task because there is some irregularity. Say ellipse 1, that is a plus b divided by 2 and then square pi. This is, we are taking with ellipse 1 formula. This is very good only when we don't involve personal errors, because when we take with the calipers, these errors already in lecture, previous lecture I have told that there are a lot of errors which can come. We have to place the right angle. Right angle is very important, and if we miss this right angle, then there will be error with this formula. So that is one difficulty. So we have to take care. Or if we don't put in the right angle, or we are putting on the lower side, not in the straight perpendicular, then also error will come. So if we are not able to avoid these personal errors, then we can go for this formula of ellipse 1. Now that's why girth is more handy and a bit more error is there with ellipse 1, but still we can consider if we are placing at the perpendicular while taking the girth, not at, this is incorrect method. This also we have to take care. Anyway, girth is approximately 3 times the diameter, because there's a relationship between g is equal to pi into d, which is 3.142. Come to this point that this is a cylindrical, which is not possible because we have trees in a different form factor. How to calculate the volume when it tapers from base to the top? So we have come to that point of ellipse 1, which is more better, and because error is less for the calculations of basal area. If we can avoid personal error, if personal errors are there, it is more feasible, then we can also consider girth formula, which is also handy one. Thank you very much. This my coming lectures will be on the tree form factor. My next lecture will be forest mensuration 19. Keep watching for the tree form factor.